site director debates. For those of you who are unaware of how debates work, essentially on this server, we have elections every month for who's going to be the next site director for that month, which is their term. The site director essentially has the power to change almost anything on the server so long as it doesn't go against or alter the rules of the server. We have elections that are ran by the community every month to choose the next site director. And prior to those elections, we have these debates. And these debates will usually help most community members decide who they want to choose for the candidate to be the next site director. The way they work changes from month to month, but essentially, each candidate will be given a question, amount of time to speak, a set amount of time, and then they'll have time to debate afterwards on each other's answers as well as their doctrines. The host is also different each month. This month's host is the infamous Colonel Autumn, a
Ooh.
former holder of many positions on site, so many that I can't name them all because I forget most of them. But he has been the site director before, so he understands how this goes. He understands what the site director is able to do and how the debate process works. So, without further ado, Colonel Autumn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, your host with the infamous Autumn, of course. Not even 2 seconds in to me speaking, and Cloud Dude already sucking my dick. So let's just hop right into it. Let's just ignore that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just to recap what I said earlier, I'm your host with the most, and today we'll be taking a closer look at the two nominees for the site director election. We have Security Corporal King and Security Captain Justice. Congrats on the promotion. And now they have a lot of responsibility, from the mere security squads that patrol the site to large overarching things such as the relations between the Global Occult Coalition and the Mobile Task Force. And so before we start in full, I'd like to set a couple ground rules just to make sure that everything stays very nice and organized. For each response, you'll be allotted 1 minute to respond, and I will give a warning when you have 10 seconds remaining, all right? And at the end of your time, you may continue your sentence, but at the end of your sentence, you must stop. In addition, you will not interrupt the other speaker when they are giving their response. You will be given time to argue or debate at the end of your allotted time. In addition, thank you, Carl, for pointing it out. The site deputy director debates will be happening on Wednesday for those of you that would rather listen to two irrelevant people argue about what they think they should do with the site. Oh, and a third and final rule is that I'm not advertising the Division Bowl. Anyway, the third and final rule is that the audience may take part in the debate via sending me, the host, some questions, all right? And so, without any further ado, we're going to get right into it. A couple questions I wrote that I thought would set the stage pretty well for us, all right? So, throughout the month, we've seen many occasions where the democracy of the site and how it operates has been called into question, such as the site failing to perform their duties to the best of their abilities. One notable instance being Coordinator Ainsley and his stint as coordinator for uh, two days, 3 days. So the first question to begin the June 2022 site director debate is as follows: what competences, if any, do members of the site need in order to participate in the site's internal affairs? And we're going to be starting with King and then Justice, and it's going to be that order throughout the debate. All right. So, King, without further ado, you may answer the question.
Okay. So internal affairs personnel are, in my opinion, to have a good IA personnel, they need to be one, extremely competent. They need to understand how the inner workings of the site is. They don't need to be confused on how the site operates. They need to be compassionate for the site and the people of the site and not for their own well-being, so not selfish. And then 3, reasonable. Obviously, there's laws. Laws has to be upkept. Law has to be upkept. But at the same time, we're human. we all make mistakes, we all make errors, and I think IA has to be, the reasonable people which have to draw the line between mistakes and actual infractions, which, as seen in the past with some certain personnel, if you don't have all three of these things, they end up misusing their powers and doing their job poorly. So, yeah, that's my
All right. All right. So, Justice, your time begins now.
Alrighty, so I agree with King on the fact that they need to have compassion for the site, and they need to be a bit smarter than your average cadet. Because your average cadet does not know jack shit about the laws. And hope to implement a more active system in security so that the laws and site constitution are more available. And what it takes qualification wise to be an IA: be competent, care for the site. If you wish to join a squad, make sure you choose the right squad for you.
10
That
seconds
is all.
left. Oh, okay. Okay. 5 seconds remaining. All right. That one, bit of a boring one, I will admit, but I think it does help set the stage for what people are looking for in terms of IA and how smart people should be. So I think one of the basic ones here that everybody should ask their nominees is, what are your objectives as site administration? All right, so we're gonna let King answer first, and then Justice. Go ahead.
Okay, so the main thing for running for SA is not having the power. It's having the power to change things for the better for the site, to introduce new things to the site so people are interested about it. If I was just going to run just to say to upkeep the site, that's a fucking waste. You're not going to pick somebody just so they can maintain things. You're going to pick somebody so they can change things up or improve the site. So that is the most important thing, is in changing the site for the better, whether it be through small executive orders or trying to introduce new smaller divisions like the ethics committee. The second most important thing is obviously making sure that the ranks get filled in. This being the HOS, you make sure you pick the right HOS so they're going to lead their divisions right. You need the capable people, otherwise those divisions will fail, as they have in the past. Pick the wrong person, you're fucked. Third is overall oversight of the site. It is just, I know that sounded a bit repetitive, but you just help where you can. Anything that needs help, that's where you go.
Time. All right, he wrapped it up pretty good, I would say. Justice, would you like me to repeat the question, or are you fine?
Please repeat the question.
All right, what are your objectives as site administration?
My objectives as site administration will be as follows. I plan on increasing the amount of investigations and amount of trials that happen on site so that people can hopefully contest the crimes that they've been, so that people are able to contest the charges they have received from IA. Because there are a few times where you do need a jury to decide the punishment. Secondly, ethics committee wise, I intend on having them work very close with Raven Squad and other investigative bureaus to help and assist them getting information that they don't ordinarily have access to. And since I'm running out of time, that'll be all. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, another one, which sounds similar, but I believe can get some much different responses. What are the basic principles of site administration? So rather than what you want, what do you believe should be some of the morals or the ground rules for site administration? King, your time starts now.
So basic principles for site administration. One, they're obviously supposed to be for the site. I think this is pretty obvious. If you're going to play SA and then just fucking sit around and do nothing and not work for the sites, like proactively moving for the site, then it's just not worth it. Basically, we've had site administration in the past that have just sat in the back and not done anything. They've just let things go on by. They haven't improved the foundation. They've just slept on it. Another thing that they should be doing is actively playing. If they're not actively playing, then they're not going to actively know what the problems are on site. That is a big factor. And then I would say probably the third most important thing is just getting to know everyone the best you can. That means talking to people, talking to a lot of people. When I did this as site director, I talked to people a lot. That was most of my job, was just talking to people, getting their
So you can continue. You can finish your sentence. You're fine.
getting their opinions on everything.
All right. Justice. What do you believe are the basic principles of site administration? Your time starts now.
Step one, knowing what the fuck is going on site. Also including being active on site in that, because how can you know what the fuck's going on if you are not on fucking site? Number two, I would have to say communications. You have to be very, very friendly with everyone, talk to people, get to fucking know everyone, even the most obscure little cadet that's only going to play for the next 2 days. Talk to him, ask him how he's doing, that sort of shit. And number three, the ability to think under pressure. That is all.
All right. Well, I think that was a very strong answer there. All right. So this question, oh, okay, a bit more in depth, I believe, is what changes do you believe need to be implemented to the Site 9 Constitution? King, your time starts now.
Okay, so a couple things. I did do a lot of edits to the Constitution when I was site director, but I still think that there was some unfinished business. So first thing, no offense, Farlow, but having dictators is probably not the best thing for the site, that being unlimited terms. So obviously, I want to revert that back to a set amount of terms, because having the same person forever, that doesn't really give you perspective on things that well, does it? Another thing is, this doesn't exactly involve the site constitution too much, but it's more like expanding the penal code to reflect the rights that you have in the site constitution. So another thing is, we got the right to protest taken away from us, which some might agree with, some might disagree with. I will sit in the middle and say that I think there is a need for protest in a situation where, protest is required. Basically, there's some bad shit going on, people are protesting it. At the same time, I can also look at the other side and see there's a co-black going on. You don't want to protest right now because everybody's gonna fucking die. So that's kind of where I sit on that. I'm guessing my time's over.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. And Justice, what do you believe are the changes that are needed?
I believe one of the major changes needed is, in agreement, the issue of no term limits and the possibility of dictators. Set that to 2 fucking terms. Secondly, I intend on adding something to the Constitution to preferably help decrease the amount of corruption. And with that will come a change to the penal code to better reflect that change to the Constitution. That is all.
All right. Now, before we move on to the final question of this section, I'm going to let Farlow around 5, 10 minutes to give his thoughts as current site director. Go ahead, Farlow.
Me?
Yes, go.
What's
I'm
up,
giving you
Paul?
your time.
What's the question?
No, you said you wanted to talk to them about. You said you want to go on stage and like talk to them about the policies that you wrote and what they believe that should be done with them.
I mean, I didn't really, but I will say this: each site director, it's inevitable. Whilst they build on the past site director's foundation laid, every site director will mold the site into their own unique form. For example, with obviously my quote unquote dictatorship, um, every site director is different. There's not going to be like the exact same site director. No site director leads in the same way. So it's hard to pinpoint, but I think that Justice and King will pretty much do a completely different job than me. Maybe better, maybe worse, probably better. But other than that, I don't really have much to say. I am confident in both of these candidates as site director.
All right, it's almost as like he didn't even come on the stage at all. Moving on, we're going to be talking about some very interesting, very mind-boggling site administration policies. So interesting, guys. So, wrote a little blurb, but I think I'm going to skip that as it covers more about division specifically than site administration relation. So the first question, a very simple one, at least it should be. What do you believe are the roles or singular role of the site deputy director? King, your time starts now.
So, site deputy director there's actually, I'm going to say roles, because while I have never seen one really do this too much in the past, other than Grape, site deputy director can act in the same way that the site director can. They have pretty much the same amount of authority, and I gave them that kind of authority so that they can become their own independent, role. They can do their own thing. They don't need to be held back by the site director. And it's a trust that's given to them because you run together. You don't run against each other. So that is something that can be seen, and hopefully Nate can do that. But I've never really seen that in the past, other than like Grape. So for the most part, in the past, I've seen them as advisors. They talk to the site director, give them their opinion. They talk about things a lot. They communicate with the site and then get to the site director about some things. Or this site deputy director is more of just a public figure. Guessing also I'm out of time.
All right. Justice, what do you believe is the role of the site deputy director?
Well, if you're going with the meme answer, be
No,
inactive.
don't go with the meme answer.
But if you're
Just,
going with the genuine answer, they are the site director's right hand. Their word is as good as the site director's. They should honestly be about just as active as the site director. Uh, apologies.
30 seconds remaining.
And an advisor to the site director, most definitely. And I'm about to run out of time, about 10 seconds left, so that'll be all.
Okay. Okay. Now this one, I believe, will be interesting because it appears that surprisingly, both of you have very similar views on a lot of things, and I'm sure that's not going to be attributed to anything at all. But what do you believe, or actually, no, let me rephrase. Do you believe that the implementation of the ethics committee is necessary for the site? All right, King, your time starts now.
Okay, why do I think it's necessary? Because as my time playing, I've only seen the site without the ethics committee. And for a long time, things have been stale, especially this month until like the end of this month. Obviously they've had this whole fucking corruption thing and whatever, all the other events, but it's been pretty stale for the most part. So I think bringing EC back is just so that we can have something new on site and have some new kind of RP brought back. And obviously it's the way that I would implement it is a lot different, but I still hope to see what is, coming back with that. It's just a different way to go about it. Unlike whatever fucking IE is doing with the anti-corruption squad or whatever, EC is literally all about that. That is the point of it. It's not,
10 seconds.
I'll leave it at that.
All right. Very strong answer there. Justice, do you believe that an ethics committee is necessary for the site? Your time starts now.
Given the recent changes and upbringings of the corruption scandal, most definitely. both King and I support Waluigi in the position of Ethics Committee Chairman, and he has brilliant ideas for that. Apologies, ran out of
30
breath
seconds
there.
remaining.
You know what? I'm just gonna end it there. Thank you.
Right. All right. A very answer. An answer from Justice, I believe. All right. Another one, a very fun one that I'm sure will be very important to a lot of voters here. What day one changes do you plan to implement? King, your time starts now.
Okay, so day one, obviously, we're gonna work on EC, where we'll point at Waluigi, and then we'll start getting the people into EC. That's probably the highest priority. In terms of executive orders, what I can do is some of the stuff that I've already listed. That being, one, we're gonna change it so E11 doesn't have to be called in anymore. It's basically going to be on their own discretion in terms of Code Black. This is how it was for a very long time, and then it was changed. I think it was in December or something like that. It's been kind of a little awkward with it sometimes, especially when there's no CL Plus on and there's not really much that can be done, so they can't really assist out. And there's been multiple other reasons with that. Other things is basically we're changing it so that misdemeanors and infractions, yes, that's part of the penal code.
10 seconds.
You cannot normally be punished, like rank punished for this. You'll get IA punishment, but not rank punishment unless the DHOS plus determines otherwise. So basically, refraining IA from doing too much to you if you are making mistakes.
All right. All right. Justice, what are your day one changes that you plan to implement as site director?
Day one changes, I plan on immediately implementing the ability for all researchers to carry firearms to hopefully curb the amount of kidnappings. I also intend on legalizing cups of lean and cups of weed for recreational use. Along with that, on day one, I will be beginning the process of working with Waluigi on getting the ethics committee started. That is all.
All right. All right. 25 seconds seated. Well, I think I agree with King and Nate. I believe this is the perfect time to allow King, specifically only King, and Justice to debate things that they believe they do not agree with. So King, I'm going to give you 1 minute as well here in order to refute or argue one of the points or multiple points that Justice has made. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so first thing, expanding researchers' guns and saying that that's going to help kidnappings. One, I'm going to explain this very clearly. GOC, SH, they cannot kidnap anybody that's under level 3 or NCO. Why the fuck would you give a research intern a gun so that they cannot be kidnapped in the first place and then they go minge with it anyway? There's no point to that. There's the whole point of having a certain rank and above in research have pistols is so that you can they cannot be minges. It's just like fucking recruits. You don't want them to have that kind of thing. Yes, I know they've kidnapped corporals, but that's different because there's literally corporal plus or lance corporal plus whatever it is. That's not the same thing with research.
10
There's no
seconds.
point in that. Another thing, why would you legalize weed and lean? Like just so that people can get high as fuck and then get killed by SCPs. Like I get it, it's funny, haha, but it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
All right, that's time, and I don't want to get too involved here, but I just want to ask, King, you do know that we give the cadets guns, correct?
Yeah, you do realize research interns are like the equivalent of recruits.
No, I know. I'm just asking, just in case. I don't know. I don't know how long you've been here.
Most of the
Justice,
time we give
Justice.
recruits guns for trigger discipline. Like,
Wow, really? That's
yes.
insane.
Controlled scenario, which they're watching over them. You're just gonna let a fucking research intern.
Also,
go-
a majority of the fucking research kidnappings are happening due to other fucking researchers having fucking guns.
So,
So arm all the fucking researchers. They won't fucking kidnap each other.
Kidnap each other. That sounds like treason to me. Why is that even happening in the first place? Just stop that from happening.
Oh, maybe you guys should address that.
Indeed, Juan. My idea is like America. If everyone has a gun, everyone won't fuck with each other.
Okay, Justice, do you have to say fuck in every sentence? I don't think you need it to win a debate here.
Apologies. Just getting passionate.
Yeah, I'm sure that guns are really going to override the therapy part with the GOCSH too, by the way. Great on that one.
All right, King, if you have another thing you would like to refute, I'm going to give you another minute. Or if you'd like to clap back about the lean thing.
Clap back with the
Yeah.
lean thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I sure do love it when a bunch of like low end security go to the fucking 294 and start spamming lean and then lagging the fuck out of the server and they're just high as fuck and then IA's having a heyday against them. Yeah, obviously that wouldn't happen if you made it legal, but if cadets are just standing right next to the 294 the whole day and drinking lean, like that's not gonna really result in too much. Doesn't make any sense. For medicinal purposes, it makes sense, but that's something you already have. But giving them lean and weed just for no reason, just so they could recollection you use, they're gonna get high as fuck and not be able to aim for shit. It just doesn't make anything. It doesn't make
Guys,
sense
that's
for
time. That's time. I'm sorry to cut you off so shortly, but I think everybody here knows that getting high is probably not good.
You see, the part that I forgot to mention is that it would be recreation with discretion
All
for
right,
level
Justice, I'm
2
going to cut
plus.
you off
If
there as
someone
well.
is fucking
Justice,
spamming it,
Justice. I don't think we need to hear another minute about recreational lean. I think it would be better for everybody if we just dropped the topic altogether and moved on to something more important than recreational weed and lean cups. All right? Can you two both agree on that, or would you actually like to
yes,
finish
thank
this debate?
God.
Justice, are you
Praise up.
really soul set on continuing this debate
let's
right now?
move on. Let's move on.
All right. Glad we can all agree here. So I believe personally that a necessary part of any site director debate is to talk about the divisions, because who doesn't love winning or losing a fuck ton of votes by saying something stupid during a debate? All right. So first and foremost, all of these are very generic. They're basically copied and pasted for every division except for IA for obvious reason. What are your thoughts on Security Chief Caboose? King, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so Caboose. I don't want to sound like a suck up, but I've seen security in the whole time I've played the server, that being from September to now. And I only saw security thrive under Chief Joe, Panda, and then all the way now to Caboose. Granted, there have been some chiefs that have gotten close, but I don't think anybody other than those specific chiefs I just named out are like actually like top tier, like making security actually just show up in sheer numbers, like 20, 30 people. They've done an excellent job at it. Caboose has obviously been much more casual with security. He's laid back. He's letting security do what they want to do. I don't know. He's just a miracle worker, man. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not too involved in security right now, but he's doing a fucking good job. So that's all I can say on that front.
God damn. Perfect. 1 minute. All right, Justice, what are your thoughts on Security Chief Caboose?
Security Chief Caboose has been doing a wonderful job. He has managed to hold the ship together whilst the server population has been gradually growing. The only complaint that I have is the difficulties of filling up all of the NCO and CO slots. That is all.
Wait, that's all? All right. Well, that was a very solid answer, I will say. I will say that for sure. Well, let's go into something more interesting then. All right, if you guys aren't going to say anything bad about Caboose, then let's just talk about the division in general. All right. What changes are you planning on implementing, or do you think the site, or sorry, the division needs in terms of security? So, what changes would you like in security? King, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to give a basic rundown of all the divisions. Special Forces, excellent right now.
Oh, no,
Ever since they got what?
I thought you were about to go every division. I didn't know you meant subdivision. Go
No,
ahead,
that's
sorry,
the
continue.
security subdivision.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Special Forces, ones that got purged, they've been doing great, very active on site, very present. SU and SRU. Gensec, obviously, been showing up in numbers, been doing pretty good. Obviously, there's always mistakes with security because, they're newer players. That's just how it is. I think they've been doing a pretty good job, actually. MedSec has been pretty good under Justice, which is why putting him as site director would probably take away from MedSec. Be a bit of a waste. M&E has been struggling. I've noticed that quite a bit. What I'm going to do is bring back the site debrief payments, where basically I can have them build a really cool checkpoint, and I'll pay them a lot of money for it if they can successfully protect debrief. Nate also said he's going to pay some money to really good checkpoints that are just made around the site in general, as well as basically M&E just needs some more incentives. So we're going to try to give them as much incentives, that being, building contests as well as other payouts. Yeah. I think that's basically it.
All right, good. Aside from the little bit at the end where I mistakenly interrupted him, I believe that was a very solid answer as well. All right, Justice. I hope you're not going to be too biased here. What changes do you believe you should implement in the Department of Security? 1 minute starting now.
Alrighty, changes in the Department of Security. Well, for one, we have a whole bunch of new sexy sergeant positions. Can't wait to see all the NCO positions filled. Shut up,
Try
Juan.
not to make it erotic, Justice. Just answer the question.
Okay. And I do believe that MedSec will have a difficult time with me leaving. However, as site director, I will assist all of the subdivisions as needed. If you need help, feel free to ask me for it. That is all.
All right. So, to put it in basic terms, King believes that you should focus on the subdivisions to make sure that they have proper leadership. I believe that's a very good response. And Justice wants to take care of all the subs to make sure that the division has a lot of good people at the head. So let's
Can I
move on
counter?
to yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So if you're a site director, you cannot be expected to take all of your time into only MedSec, because then you're only going to be focusing on MedSec. You're going to be fucking over the rest of the site. That is
I
why
did not-
you leaving as lieutenant or captain, now you're captain, is a bad mistake. Because if you're going to focus only on MedSec, then you're not going to be able to help the rest of the site. All right.
I did not say I was just going to focus on MedSec. I said
No, I'm saying if MedSec slacks and then you have to come back, the rest of the site is not going to be there. Sorry, you're not going to be there for the rest of the site. All right. So that's a problem with that. That's my problem. If you're going to leave, then MedSec is going to slack for a while. You can't expect that not to happen.
I do agree. MedSec is going to slack for a while. Everyone has a learning curve whenever they're getting into the position.
1 minute is
also another point is
2 extra minutes, because this is very interesting now.
Another point is, if you think that you could fill in all these slots and stuff like that, and you want to, if you think there's current problems with security that you can fix right now, if you're a site director.
Well, for one, the fuck, generally, or fucking what? Like,
I'm just saying security as a whole.
What are security as a whole? Well, I believe that fuck, I can't even fucking think.
Fucking
right now.
what?
Fuck, man, I can't even fucking moderate this shit. I'm fucking biased as fuck right now, man. Fuck. Let's just move on to the next question before we have another 15 fucks thrown around here.
Shut the fuck up, Kel.
Please do not interrupt Kel. He's very, very dedicated right now.
He's spamming me in DMs. Shut up, Kel.
That's unfortunate. Let's move on to research, because God, if there's one thing better than a bunch of people who are strong with big guns, you want a bunch of scrawny little white boys with clipboards, because there's the guys you really need to convince here. All right. So, what do you believe? Let me rephrase that. What are your thoughts on Director of Research Simon Hathfield? King, 1 minute starting now.
Hatfield isn't the perfect DOR. I don't think there's ever been a perfect DOR. I mean, we've had some that have gotten close, but he's not a perfect DOR. He's not exactly the worst DOR ever, though, because, Crawford didn't really play. That's obviously not directly his fault because he was very busy, but he did let research die at the end of the day. So Hatfield actively plays. He tries to help his RA help out with him, and then as a result, research thrive as best as they can. Obviously, they're not amazing, but they could be better. And I'm going to offer help where I can. Obviously, I was a previous research coordinator, so I know some of this stuff. I haven't exactly been involved in research too much, though, so I need to get more in with the research administration and know what's going on to understand that. But basic premise is running group projects, making sure test approvals are getting approved as soon as possible so people are doing tests. All that normal stuff, you just got to make sure it runs smoothly. Otherwise, it's all going to come crashing down real quick.
All right. Justice, what are your thoughts on Director of Research, Dr. Simon Hathfield? 1 minute.
Dr. Simon Hatfield
Yeah.
is not the best, nor is he the worst candidate for the DOR. However, the advantage that he has, throughout my long time playing on this server, he promotes roleplay more than any other DOR. For that, he is doing an absolute fucking beautiful job. That is all.
All right. You're gonna cede 35 seconds back to the clock. Now, question 3. I wrote a special note for question 3 because I don't know if you can tell. The next question is about IA. Because I'm biased, because Nate is biased, even though he's not even a part of this fucking thing. We're just gonna skip it. All right, we're gonna skip it because people already have talked about IA. All right, IA has been in the news a lot, so we're gonna skip it. And Apophis is gonna cry in his fucking corner because he's like, "But I just got assistant director. Kill yourself." Shut the fuck up. This isn't your debate. Moving on. Actually, no. You know what? We'll do the sub question because I believe the sub question is still important to a lot of viewers here. What changes do you believe need to be implemented in the Department of Internal Affairs? All right, King, you get 1 minute.
Yeah. So I already said this earlier, but the penal code one. So like I said, infractions, misdemeanors, unless it's a DHOS plus, you're not going to get punished rank wise because IA have gone off the edge sometimes. Another thing with IA is I'm going to do a revision with the penal code. I'm going to add some extra new things. One of them is slander. We're going to add some other things like I think Farlow, he did add corruption. I don't know if it's actually added to the penal code, but we're going to add corruption. So I was going to do a lot of revisions to felonies, especially because there's some felonies that seem like they really shouldn't be felonies. They seem very like harsh for what is actually committed. I don't know. A lot of revisions to penal code. Another thing that I would suggest, obviously I can't do this because I'm not the 05, and I've already talked with security chief and the IA director, is we could maybe have FE again. IA and ME go together because they've been struggling, and if you put them together, you have a better chance. You got building and you got the IA shit. That's one of the bigger things, but obviously that's only a suggestion. It's not something I can do. Obviously we're going to bring back Castle Squad. I brought that back in the first place. They haven't been using it lately though. I want them to use it, especially for RA.
All right. That was very solid there. Justice, I'd like to hear your take on this as well. What are your plans, or what plans do you wish to implement in the Department of Internal Affairs? 1 minute starting now.
Well, for one, I believe one of the largest things that has been hindering the progress of internal affairs is the lack of an active director. To remedy that, I will be putting Green in as the IA director, and I will be moving Nate down to deputy.
I can counter this one, right?
You want to replace an inactive director with Green? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. Continue. You have 45 seconds remaining.
You know what? Because of that outburst, I'm ending now.
Oh my god.
All right. Can I counter this?
Oh, I honestly, I think Nate should counter it. I think Nate should counter it. He was
Nate should
brought up
counter it?
directly.
All right,
He was called
Nate.
inactive, and I would like
You're
to
the
hear his
based guy. Come on.
Hello? My mic working? Alright, cool. You're retarded. Carry on.
Just like that.
Anyway,
Guys,
sorry for that very sudden
reference.
outburst.
You don't have to have Cloud Dude levels of activity to be considered active. All right, guys. You don't need to play the server 12 hours a day to be considered active. You don't need to make deep gaming your only life. All right. You just have a little bit of fun on the server.
I'm gonna end your time here, though. I want to apologize personally for this. What people are calling bias. I just personally found it very funny that Justice believes that they should replace Nate with Green. I've personally nothing against either of them. However, I believe that well, Nate is okay at what he does. I don't have an opinion on that, but I believe that if you're gonna compare Nate to Green, I mean, come on. No offense, Green, you're not inactive, and I don't have anything against you, but you're already managing two, what is it, NCO and CO positions. So, and my basement is 3 kegs filled with grape juice that I'm aging into wine.
Come on, gotta move on with the debate.
Shut up, you Irish prick. Anyway, moving on. The most important. Let's be honest, that's a joke. It's not the most important. Security is the most important. But we're going to be talking about Mobile Task Force because Mobile Task Force has had some interesting changes. And I personally want to see if both of you understand the changes that have been implemented and what additional changes you believe should be implemented here. So first off, to set the stage, what are your thoughts on Director of Task Forces, Mr. Ginge? All right, King, 1 minute.
What was my thoughts on the new MTF system? So personally, there's a lot of people that like just having the one MTF, but at the same time, it was interesting. It had more character to have these multiple MTFs, and you obviously had the advantage of the defending MTF, which used to be Pi 1, and I'm guessing it's now Beta 7. And then you also had the attacking MTF, which was NU7. NU7 generally had better guns. Pi 1 was more geared towards containment. While it is technically better just to have it all in one, everybody can play everything, I think it's more interesting to have them split up. It adds a little bit more character, adds a little bit of competition between the two MTFs, and I think it's a good thing. Also, we have E6 back. That's kind of interesting. I know that some people really like it, some people really don't. I think it's best we just sit back and see how that goes. And then obviously Ada 10's back as the elite unit. So I think it's a good change for now. We'll see how it goes.
All right. I actually asked about Ginge, though, but that also works for the next question, obviously. Justice, what are your thoughts on Director of Task Forces, Mr. Ginge? 1 minute.
I believe that Ginge has been doing a wonderful job as his position. Yeah, that's really all I need to say.
Oh,
On the terms of Ginge, yeah.
Wow.
all right. 45 seconds back on the clock. So, there is some chance, or some time rather, if the two of you would like to argue a point or would like to argue with me for being such a obviously a biased.
Yeah, you were pretty
Director,
fucking biased, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
agree with that. You're being pretty fucking
Guys,
biased.
what if we just replace him with Farlow? Because Farlow's
Oh.
Farlow.
If you'd like me to be honest with you right now, Farlow's paying me off. I'm kidding. He's not
Paying
paying
you
me off.
off?
No, he's
Fuck.
not. Anyway, I do like Justice. I think he's doing a good job as lieutenant. So for that, I guess I could be a little biased. I've also
Captain.
personally.
I'm a captain now.
Right, because that's definitely not the same thing. And for King, I personally don't like him, but I will admit he has much better policies, in my opinion, from what I've read. And Nate's a good guy. I actually don't really know Fridge. I've seen him. He definitely exists.
He's an Alpha 1
Ghost and-
conscript.
Oh, he's an Alpha 1 conscript. What, they conscript Alpha 1 now? The fuck?
Yeah, I know.
You
Pretty
just cut
crazy,
your own
right?
tongue off, and they're like, you know what?
Bro,
I could really-
everyone in Alpha 1 is a conscript. Except
Yo,
like
Fridge,
No.
I saw you could talk. All right, sit back down.
bro, I saw Unday unmute mic.
Okay, I'm kidding. By the way, you can.
I
you
was
can finish your
spamming it.
thought. Yeah, yeah.
But
All right.
I'll
Well,
finish my thought. Fridge is the worst Alpha 1. Easy dub. Next
Who's the worst
question.
Alpha 1?
Fridge.
Wow, that's
Next question.
Fridge. You gonna let him
Eh,
fucking diss you like
Come on,
that? Or?
Fridge, fucking defend
I-
yourself.
All right,
No
Justice, please
contest.
stop saying fuck. And Fridge isn't gonna respond. All right, Nate, you can mute back up. We'll get on
Oh,
with the
yeah?
show. Yeah, our 45 seconds are done here. And Farlow, I would rather finish this last question here, because this is the last question I have written before we address some of the more specific things here. The last general question, two general questions I have. What are your thoughts on the newly promoted, I guess you could say, Tactical Containment Unit Commander King, which is different from Corporal King, because apparently some people confuse them. King, I'm gonna give you a minute.
Yeah. So, fun enough, I was actually the one that suggested this whole thing happen. We basically, Nate and me, we decided as soon as Fritz decided to give up the ghost, whenever he was going to step down, we were going to give it to Hurt back again, because Hurt's done it a lot of times. He's been SID director, he's done TCU commander in the past, he was SCB captain. He knows his shit. Like, you put him in the position, he's going to do well with it. It's no surprise. So we thought that with the current state of TCU, considering the questionable acts of what TCU has previously done, I think all of you know what I'm talking about in terms of law violation. We basically just thought, hey, give Hurt his job back. He's going to do well at it. So I just suggested it to Farlow as soon as Crit stepped down, and then obviously that happened.
All right, Justice, what are your thoughts on Tactical Containment Unit Commander King, or Hurt, whatever you want to say?
I believe Hurt has a great amount of potential for the position. He's had it before. I've seen his work in security back in ye olden days. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you guys can't already guess, we're going to be talking about what changes you think the TCU needs. All right, King, you have 1 minute.
Basically, TCU, I think they just need more containment sims. I can actually do this directly myself because I set up a lot of the sim rooms for the site. The one that most people end up using are the ones I've made in the past as previous site director, and then the one I give to Farlow for the rest of the site. I like hosting recontainment sims. They're really fun. I've done them in the past. I've also done SCP breach events for TCU in like GM rooms and stuff. So I would have no problem hosting more of them because I know they're really fun, and TCU generally shows up for them a lot. For the most part, though, I'm gonna let Hurt do what he wants to do, and just allow him to do what he plans to do because he knows what to do for TCU. That's really repetitive, but I'm just basically saying he knows his shit. He's gonna want it. I'll let him have it.
All right,
That's all.
10 seconds. All right, good. Justice, what changes do you believe need to be implemented in the Tactical Containment Unit?
They need more shit to do, like recontainment sims to be exact. I believe they should also host cooperative trainings with security more often so that in the case that TCU is not currently on, that people know what the hell to do. There have been too many times that I've seen someone not know how to recontain something. And that is all.
All right, actually, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You stated, I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly, that members of the TCU did not know how to recontain an SCP?
No, I said members of security.
Members of security, right? Sorry, my hearing is just not as
No
good as it used
worries.
to be.
I was speaking rather quickly.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's see here. Okay, how about you guys get to choose, since we're a democracy, quote unquote. we can either allow you guys to argue more and spice things up, or take some questions from the crowd because I already have a couple, and honestly, some of them are pretty funny, and other ones are like serious, but like who cares about that, you know? So I will let you two decide amongst yourselves. You have 30 seconds because 1 minute is too long.
Do you want to hear the funny community questions, King?
I mean, we're gonna hear them anyway, right? What about we
Yeah, we were gonna
talk
hear, but it's
about
just
each
which one
other's
you do first.
doctrines? 'Cause that's something I find a
Oh,
little important.
I would actually, I would love to. I could pull them up right now, side by side, if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right, let me do that. No, that one's in that's a news article. I can't do that. Sorry, it's gonna take me a bit because they look exactly the same. Which one is? Oh, okay,
Hmm.
this one is
Yeah,
easy.
it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh wait, no, that's because
Little.
this is the nominee interview. That's my bad. I'm actually stupid. Would you two mind sending them to me while I organize these questions from the crowd? Because I'm getting a lot of them right now. So if you
Yeah.
could do that, I would appreciate it. While I see which one of these are serious and which one of these are jeb. All right, I have King and Nate's doctrine. If I could acquire Justice's doctrine real quick.
Just one moment.
Of course, of course. Let's get one of these out of the way first here. Okay, this one's a really a short one. More of a yes or no, right? Are you going to enforce saluting for MTF? This one came from Grimmick. He said
No.
he
Fuck
personally
off.
doesn't know why they're having MTF do that. Um, because the SD, the site director, will walk by them and then they all just get shot.
Yeah. So why would you have somebody pull out the salute swept or even go for their bind when they're going to be in combat with GUI and then they get fucking, kidnapped or just killed outright? If you want to do it, go for it, but I don't think anybody should shove it down their throat. I don't even think they should be doing it in the first place unless it's for debriefs. Sure, go for it. I don't care about debriefs. But why would you be doing that in combat? Just because your major walked by you, now you have to salute him when you're getting fucking shot at. That's not realistic. I don't think most people in an actual combat scenario are gonna do that. I think Nate could actually probably answer that question. Nate?
It's fine. It's fine. We'll
Bro.
allow Justice to give his thoughts, and then after that, we're going to allow Farlow, the current site director, for those of you who didn't know, which is like a 0. So, Justice, what are your thoughts on having MTF salute the site director, even in situations which could put them at risk?
Yeah, if there's combat going on, you don't need to fucking salute. Just use your fucking common sense when it comes to it. That's all.
Okay, okay. And Mr. Site Director Farlow, I would actually love to hear your thoughts on this, because I believe it could just be a misunderstanding on behalf of site administration. I would like to hear your thoughts.
My personal thoughts on this: you do not, you should not even make people salute you under any circumstance. Saluting is a thing that you get out of respect. You don't force people to earn that salute. You earn that salute. You earn the salute from the respect of your peers, and you earn it from the respect of your men. It is a very, very simple concept. I know that security get taught. I forgot the bronze rule: always salute your superiors, something like that. But I believe that salutes
Silver
should be earned through respect and not force.
Right. I don't believe that was the exact question, or at least the thing that Grimmick. I'm assuming, gonna assume Grimmick can call me out if I'm wrong. I believe he meant that MTF were being forced to salute in situations where they were engaging GOIs, or I mean like GOC or SH, and they were getting killed because of it because they had to put their gun away to salute. But if that is not what he's referring to, then I believe your message was. Oh, the
No.
question was, should MTF be forced to salute an EZ? But yeah, okay. I suppose that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I believe Farlow answered that correctly then. So, since we have that little question out of the way, little formality, we have to go into the fun part here. We have to pick apart the doctrine, and even though I originally found the two wrong documents, I think I'm gonna stick with the opinion that they look kind of the same. So, how about we just okay? Two ways we can do this. Either I can read both of them and call out both of you for bullshit, or you two can pick apart each other's doctrines. So really, either you're biased to the other person, or I'm biased to both of you. Which
Listen,
one would you like?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I got notified that I got the nomination at 4 a.m. in the morning. I was already sky high,
4 a.m. in the morning.
and I had to slap that bitch out. The reason that I did copy King's format is because King's format is the sexiest fucking format that there
The truth
fucking
comes
is
out.
available.
The truth comes
I
out.
am not going to
The
lie about
truth comes out. Thank you for telling the truth, because I wanted to talk about that so much.
Yeah,
But I
King
asked the first,
wanted to
it was
address it
denial.
the 9 p.m. at night debate here, or the 8 p.m. Whatever. It's 9 p.m. now, but who cares? So that didn't actually answer my question. Would you like me to pick apart your doctrines, or would you like to pick apart each other's doctrines?
Let's probably go with each other, so there's less
Each other.
bias.
I honestly don't care. Fucking, for all I care, you could pick them apart yourself.
Great. So we have a tie. Farlow, which one do you think is more entertaining?
Letting them pick at each other's
All right. All
doctrines.
right. So I know King. King, I know you have both doctrines. Justice, do you have King and Nate's doctrine on hand right now?
Let me pull it up.
All right, just whip it out.
No
Left
comment. uh, Alrighty, I have it. My neighbors are fighting. Lovely.
Who's winning?
That's rough.
I would say the female, but they're lesbians.
Can I take bets?
I actually, King, you should. I'm gonna strike you 2 points. You should know, with Nate as your deputy director, gambling is actually against site laws. Reptile using his mic. This is truly a momentous occasion.
If Reptile's using his mic, allow him up here ASAP.
No, he said something in Morse code and then left.
Level 4 personnel can authorize gambling. So, Farlow, can we gamble on it?
No, Farlow, don't cave. You're supposed to be like British or something. Who cares?
Maybe today, Satan.
I'm level 5. You can go ahead and gamble.
You're
Yes,
not level 5
sir.
yet. You're actually, yeah, sure.
I'm about to say, what do you mean I'm not level 5 yet? I am level 5.
In our hearts.
Honestly, I don't know who is winning at this point.
Oh, I
Okay.
know.
I
how about we just cut to the bull?
Farlow.
I can
Farlow's
hear
winning
punching
right
and
now.
kicking.
Farlow's the only one winning right now. Anyway,
Uh,
so are you guys going to start picking apart each other's doctrines, or would you like to set up
okay,
some
so yeah,
round?
you were waiting on us. Okay.
Alright,
So,
alright.
I'm going to make this. This is my most broad statement I can make.
Right.
Would you rather pick the original, or would you pick the knockoff? I'm the original. He's the knockoff. Because, in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of repeated stuff, including EC, which was the biggest thing I was running for.
Well, I'll say this. Ethics committee, it's a fucking brilliant idea. Like, I'm not going to argue with that. Moving
Yes,
forward,
okay.
server-wise, it is the best idea.
But what I'm saying is, when you go to the store and you're going to buy Oreos, are you going to buy the normal Oreos, or are you going to buy the shitty knockoff ones?
I'm going to buy the shitty knockoff ones. They're
Oh
cheaper.
my god, what if King was the site director and Justice just
So
became the site
you
deputy
want
director and you guys
lower
stopped
quality.
dissing each other in this channel? Like, what if you guys just stopped having e-sex and just like grew up together? You were like, we should really get past all this.
Yeah?
Yeah. Make yourselves a double stuff Oreo if you're going with this shitty
Double
Oreo.
stuff Oreo.
Come on.
Yes.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. King, he's a fan of the classics, but Justice likes them thick.
Jive, I
That
am
is
not
true.
pulling you on stage so that you can play Among Us.
Oh, Christ. So, I mean, it looks like both of you are just kind of agreeing with each other here. King called him out for the unoriginality.
Okay, unoriginality.
I-
So, another thing I do want to bring up
Go ahead.
is the doctrine's important. You know why? Because it tells everyone what you want to do. It is your grand plan. If you're not telling them enough, you're doing that on purpose. You're trying to be vague because one, either you don't have a plan, or two, you're trying to keep your plan secret. My doctrine's twice the size and goes in detail about everything, way more.
You do know that the reason that your doctrine is twice the plan is because of all the fluff text.
Fluff text. You call me describing things that I'm going to do and giving my opinions on the things I'm going to do fluff text.
There is
So
quite a bit of
omitting
fluff text.
things from the site just because you're lazy and you don't want to write it out is fluff text.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, honestly. I mean, I'm reading it now. I'm not seeing too much. Maybe like an introductory statement, but eh, I guess Justices gets right to the point. That's because he didn't have enough
Also,
time to
King,
write out the fluff text. But
yeah, the
King's gets to
site
the point,
the
but he
site
elaborates on it.
administrator,
So
nominee has the advantage of time of working on their fucking shit.
Yes, that is true. I'm not saying otherwise. HOS Nami has always had a bit of a downside on that regard. But it is also the fact that you should spend time on your doctrine. You shouldn't just push it out like it's no business, like you did in the morning. You should have waited, you should have made it right, and then you should have posted it instead of pushing out wherever the fuck that was in the morning, and then you guys eventually edited it later.
yeah, actually, I agree with Site Director Farlow. Nobody's actually gonna read 10 pages. People want a too long didn't read version.
Exactly.
All right, we have 30 minutes left. By the way, it ends final cutoff no matter what 9:30. All right. So I think we're gonna have to cut this short with the picking apart each other's doctrines here because it's really not going anywhere right now. It's just people talking about walls of text that nobody read in the first place. So let's do some viewer questions. Okay, let's go with the non-joke ones here because I don't think anybody wants to hear what Burger has to say. No offense, Burger, but like I don't think anybody cares about the MTF gay sex policy. So let's go with last life's question. The good old Dr. Ashwood, right? His question is a little biased, I will admit, but I think it's a good question to ask. What will each candidate do in response to profanity in the site? And his little note, which he included with the question, is that this question is directed more towards justice than King. So,
Uh,
so would either of you like to answer that, or would you just like to say that's enough as a
Profanity.
as far as it goes, you just don't say the N word. Come on, be
wow, that's
adults.
really progressive here. Don't say the N word, guys. Everything else is completely fine. Fuck's sake. All right, King, do you have anything to say about profanity?
Okay,
or
all I'm gonna say is don't be a snowflake. If somebody calls you a dumbass, it's probably because you're acting like a dumbass.
So
If you're
everything's
not,
just free game?
call them back on it. All right. Let's all be adults here and figure things out together.
Yeah, Caboose actually, the chief of security asks a very good question. Does that, Justice, does this mean he can say other slurs?
Uh, no, use your
Okay.
fucking common sense,
Alright, well, you're
Mister saying in
offense,
chat that you
you're-
adore Hitler.
You're asking security to use common sense here. I just want to let you know, you're a captain in MedSec. I believe you know better by now.
I believe that a lot of security is more capable than most divisions give them credit for.
All right, well, let's move on to an actual question.
I
Alright.
can't take it. She told me to cope.
Shut up, you British bitch. Moving on. Considering the site deputy directors, how will they live up to their designated standards? Don't know exactly what this means, but I'm assuming he's asking the nominees how they think their deputy director nominees will be. It was not an indom question. It was a Juan question.
Juan.
Okay.
King, I'm gonna give you the minute now because this is an
Okay,
actual.
so I'm guessing this is saying, oh yeah, are your site deputy directors not gonna be inactive like every other site deputy director? I hope that Nate is inactive. I mean, he's not been inactive in the first place, so it probably won't be a problem. He's also very ambitious. He has his own ideas. He has his own opinions. So I think he'll probably do a lot with that job. He's one for it. I think that's pretty much all I have to say.
All right, Justice. I will give you your designated time. A minute starting now.
Well, Fridge, you fucking answer what you're gonna do. Come on.
No, actually, that's a
No?
cop out. No, the point of the question
Okay.
is for you to say how you think they will perform.
Okay, I think that Fridge will perform very well. I believe that he is going to be maintaining his level of activity, and that there shouldn't really be any issues with him being active. And when I'm not on site, he more or less has permission to speak on my behalf. That's all.
All right, that's pretty good. Pretty good. We're gonna be moving on to Apophis. Apophis, or the guy that a lot of people, uh, I won't include that. Chaotic. I'll call him chaotic. His question: why did King only address the scandal after the fact if he knew about it ahead of time? Oh fuck, he said he wanted it to be anonymous. Oops. You should have
Wait,
included that
I knew about it
beforehand. Oh
ahead
my
of the
god.
time. I knew about it ahead of the time. I was
Yeah.
told what generally the ideas were with like the nominees and picking and stuff like that, but I wasn't told that Hatfield made that specific comment. All right. Uh, I don't know why people have a thing against Ainsley. Like, he's a legitimately good person. Like, yeah, he's made some mistakes, but he's a good person. He's actually done good RP, even though if it ends badly for him most of the time, it is good RP at the end of the day. So I don't know why everybody thinks picking Ainsley was such a bad choice. I mean, Goosey, I don't know about that one, but Ainsley, I can see him as a good candidate as he was in the past. So
All right, Justice. Um, I mean, it wasn't directed to you, but I suppose you could respond to it if you so wish.
Could you repeat the question?
Right. Anonymous said, why did King only address the scandal, meaning the election scandal, after the fact, if he already knew about it ahead of time? Which I believe is coming from the information provided in the Site 9 Chronicles and the Site 9 News Service.
Yeah, there's honestly no way that I can answer that.
Okay. Well, let's move on. I'm getting a lot of questions here, and we only have 23 minutes left. So we're gonna start going through. We're at No, we're not doing Grimmick. We're gonna move on to Cloud Dude. He asked, "Why didn't you change the bias during your last?" Okay, hang on. I'm gonna. Why didn't you change the bias during your last term, and it took public reaction to have you change it for King?
the
Um,
bias?
I, I,
What the fuck?
you know
Like,
what?
okay, can you specify a little bit more? Like, bias towards what? Bias towards
I don't.
who?
I'm reading exactly what he wrote. He said, "Why didn't you change the bias during your last term?"
Time
Um,
out. I'd like to point
yes,
out that after
yes.
Cloud Dude's retarded question, all I seen was several people are typing. Carry
Yeah.
on.
Okay. I think we can agree we should skip this until it's rephrased for now at least. All right. We're gonna move on to Lenny Burger. Lenny the Burger. My bad. Okay. Not gonna talk about the Fursona policy. Let's go Farlow here. Actually, no. I almost forgot. Farlow said he had something to talk about for the previous question. So I'll allow him.
This is about the corruption thing, and I'm going to be very blunt with everyone here. Whether you all like it or not, A, this isn't the first time an incident like this has happened, and you guys it's gone right under your nose. And B, this is most certainly not the last time it will happen. You guys are all saying that you're standing up to corruption, and corruption is ending with this. It's not. It really isn't. There will still be the HUS votes in favor of the SA because they like the SA nominee. It's a simple concept. To simply put, the HOS, they will, if they unanimously agree on a candidate, who in God's good name is going to snitch? Apart from possibly the SA that disagree with the situation.
Reptile.
Good one. It was actually King, but sorry. But if the SA are running again, for example, and the HOS are nominating someone to directly Um,
10 seconds.
counteract. Okay. Well, if the HOS cannot vote in the HOS Discord due to fear of being caught out, they'll just make a group chat. This stuff will happen in the future, whether you guys like it or not, and it's something you're gonna have to deal with.
Man, it almost feels like as if Farlow never talked at all. I mean, I think we all understand that nobody's gonna know because nobody calls him out. And this is a very, very sorry. Caboose is threatening to gut me right now. Someone has asked a very good question. How will the Trout? No, not that one. What are their plans to mitigate? No, not that one. Okay, an anonymous question from Josh JOK guy. He's asking why. Just the word why.
Why?
Yeah, King, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so why? Why are we even running? Why is Justice running? Why am I running? Ideas, I guess. Crazy, right? Yep, that's about it.
All right, Justice, you have 1 minute starting now.
Indeed, a fun question. Why?
10 seconds.
I got picked, and I figured, well, fuck. I might as well try and help the site. Try
All
and
right,
better it.
time. That is time. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, another anonymous question. This time it's from Apophis again. He's asking, when will IA get a K9 unit?
Fuck off.
Okay, Justice, would you have
Never
a nice...
eat shit. Shut the fuck up. Don't answer that question. Fuck you.
All right,
Fuck everything.
all right,
I hate
all
you
right.
for even asking that question, you stupid
What are
bitch.
you, a
Kill
furry?
yourself.
Oh, Jeff asked, can I ask why Justice is... I'm not finishing that thought. I'm sorry. You know what? Actually, I will.
I have
IA is
no
not
power
getting a
over that.
fucking K9 unit. Shut
No,
up.
hang
No
on, hang on.
K9
I'm
unit.
actually going to address this question I got from Data Null himself. And I'm going to put in more good terms. All right. His question was, what will you guys do? All right, to combat infiltrators, because a lot of people assume that the only way to combat infiltrators is to metagame, and a lot of people want a
Metagame
policy.
radar.
Exactly, they want a policy that can be used to help, to help
So,
address infiltrators here.
I personally have something to address this.
Yes. No.
So
no,
I
King
recently,
answers.
okay, too late. You already said yes. Eat shit,
Fine.
retard. I
Go
recently
ahead.
put out an announcement to the internal affairs that I'm going to bully people to make sure it stays in effect. ID sweeps only lasting 10 minutes, going to be done once an hour, right? With that being said, if you feel like you're getting metagamed and there's an ID check being called on you just because you flagged up, suffer. Call them out for it. Make a report if you're that butthurt about it. But honestly, just hide. Get good.
Okay, so
Like, it's not that fucking hard.
essentially the plan here is just do ID sweeps, and then if you get caught, sucks to suck. I like it. It's very simple. Justice, what are your plans?
To cut down on the infiltrators.
Yeah.
IA doing wonderful ID sweeps, along with M&E having their funny checkpoints up with their funny contraband detectors. That's all you really need. End of statement.
I sure do love ID checking Cadet XM8.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that King isn't biased at all. I'm sure he has a very strong policy towards internal affairs. Okay, hang on. Caboose is threatening to gut me, and he sent me like 100 messages in the past 5 minutes, maybe. So okay, he's just asking me to bring him on stage for the question. I don't have the ability to do that. Farlow, could you
Yeah.
bring?
Yes.
Bring
Thank
him
you,
up here.
thank you, thank you. Bring Caboose up here and have him explain to us why he's gonna gut me like a fish. And why is Regimen?
Okay,
I don't
so I have an
get it.
actually serious question, but you're retarded. You like went by like 20 other people's questions, and like
Shut up.
I mean, okay. Anyways, so this is directed towards Mr. $8 and Justice as well. But
God
talking
damn
about
it.
EC, with EC, how it worked in the past was is usually members or research were picked out and put into EC, but there's really no like difference with them being on the research job. So how will EC act in game? Like, well, what will be EC different like in game than like from a regular researcher? How will they be different?
So, EC have level 4 clearance. EC chairman will either have level 4 or level 5. And obviously they're high priority on the list. basically their involvement is more of oversight as opposed to actually engaging with tests. So think about it like that. They're obviously still going to plan on the researcher jobs, stuff like that. But they're just going to go around the site. They're going to talk with people, make sure that things are going well. They're kind of like HR in some regards, making sure things are going right with the site. They'll oversee tests, make sure that nothing, too bad goes on. But obviously, they're not involved in the approval process because we don't want to fuck them over in that regard. And basically, they have the after effects. They can do trials. They're encouraged to do trials, especially for treason. Any kind of rebellion. Obviously, ethical violations. That's what they deal in. That's basically the main premise of it.
All right, Justice, you may respond to the question now.
Would you please repeat your question one more time, Caboose?
Caboose, get your
Okay.
game on.
So, shut up. So how
Make-
EC worked in the past is they'd be picked out and then they would just wander around the facility. So what would be different from that? Like what purpose would they have on site?
Well, my idea of ethics committee is them working along, say, like Raven Squad and the committee on misconduct and corruption, along with having them work with the HOS and so on and so forth.
Why is there a committee on corruption when ethics committee exists? As their one of their biggest points is they're anti-code white and anti-corruption. Why do you have this IA thing that's also happening too? Like what? It's just gonna be
Because
so
there's
fucking
currently
awful.
not an ethics
Justice, do you mind-
committee in
Justice, do you mind
place.
if I respond real quick?
No, I'm saying in your scenario though, you just said that committee existed alongside ethics committee. Like what?
It'll be mostly to aid in communications amongst several
So
investigative.
it's still gonna exist. That's what you're saying. It's just thing that
Possibly.
is made by IA, even though it's just so fucking dumb. I don't know what to say to that. It's just doesn't make sense.
Okay, Justice, you have any final words to respond to King's, response? Or I actually got a new question from an anonymous source. If you would like to hear that one.
Let's move on to the next question, my friend.
All right, all right. What is Farlow saying? This dude, yo. Elaborate, please. No problem, Caboose. I'm here anytime. All right. The question is from an anonymous source. We have an anonymous question from the MTF commander. He's asking, "What would you do if Epsilon 6 decided to go Rouge?" Yeah, he said Rouge instead of Rogue. Fucking moron. So, what will you do if E6 decided to go Rouge?
Rouge. So E6, if they go rogue,
Yeah.
that will definitely be a very interesting
Stick the
event.
class on him.
What? What'd you say?
What do you say? No. What do you
Nate,
say,
speak
Nate?
up, bro. Come on.
Speak up. Speak up.
Speak up, Nate.
Stick the D class on him.
Yeah.
Stick the D class on
Yeah.
E6. Just use
Yeah.
the D class to
Real
fuck up the
gamer
E6.
move. They're trying to outsmart us. We're gonna send the D class in there.
Zerging tactics. I love it.
All right. So King, or at least his site deputy director, would like to utilize a tactic originally devised by the Department of Security, where instead of having a bunch of really good people, you have like millions and millions of starving Russian immigrants, and you just send them to the front lines.
Listen, I could throw the Scotsman at them, or I can just take a handful of retards and hope for the best. I feel like
Well, that's why you have IA, But
exactly the handful of retards. They works.
anyway,
You're one of
we're
them.
gonna have I guess we're gonna have a D class containment unit. Also, thank you, Chaotic. That was the joke. If you didn't realize. Anyway, so Justice, would you like to
Yes.
actually respond to that? It wasn't exactly a question, but I mean, I would love to hear your
Repeat it one more time.
fucking Nate.
If
Go ahead.
E6 rebels, what are you gonna do?
No, I thought it was about the D class thing specifically. No, actually,
Oh.
let's just
I
do
didn't hear a
the,
question of that.
D6. Yeah, go ahead, Justice.
Security. We have a swarm of them.
Oh no, shit. What do you do?
Security
Damn,
led by
damn,
MTF.
My answer, but less cool. Fuck you.
Oh, we actually have another anonymous question from some guy named Snoof who plays VR chat.
Agent Llama.
Oh, it's
Alright.
Llama. It's Llama. My bad. He's asking, when will the IA director be active?
Bro,
Ooh.
honestly, whatever I want to.
No, I'm gonna let Justice answer.
Ooh.
Justice, answer the question. I'm sure you won't be biased at all.
Well, seeing as Nate gets on about once, twice a week, yeah,
Are you
I
retarded?
intend. You do
Do
not
I gotta
get
pull?
on
Do I gotta pull actual hours on you from Steam?
Oh my god, actually, do it. That would finally bring some interest to this, and we have 10 minutes
So the
left.
only
So.
the only times I don't log on are when work, army is beating the fuck out of me, and I have a lot of shit to do because I'm leaving the army in July.
A lot of
I
big,
log
strong
an
army
hour
boys
to
will
3
beat you at night.
hours, whatever,
you
every
off.
day that I can. I've missed 2 days last week, and that's just because I think I did an 8-hour fucking binge of the server, and I just could not.
Okay,
Gets
then I
rough on you
believe
sometimes.
the issue is more how were you not as noticed as the other?
Because I'm on my
It's less.
CC, not using the name Nate, because having people swarm me asking about promotions or can I get paid for getting this arrest is the dumbest shit ever.
Isn't the custom class also IA? Yours
It is IA,
RS?
and I'm the only one that has it, and they're
you're
just
active as
retarded.
IA. Then I don't get what the problem
That's
is.
what I'm saying. No one
Alright,
pays
let's move on.
attention. I
Alright, let's
walk in
move on,
there as
let's move on.
IE SWAT intervention SWAT, and they're all retarded. Why don't we ask the
Right.
people in the crowd? You got
Speaking-
Kel,
No, we're not
Junior
gonna
Agent
ask
Tess,
people
Sebastian.
We're not actually going to.
They
ask
have
people in the
questions,
crowd.
dude. Let them ask.
I know. I have some questions.
Can we just talk
from-
about IA for a second
from
here too?
Kingsley and White Monarch.
Yeah, what's up?
King, I'll let you finish your thing since you didn't get to respond, and then we'll move on to the next viewer question.
Speaking of IA, because Nate actually brought it up, Justice wants to pay IA even more for what they're doing, so that's going to encourage them to arrest more people, to overstep their boundaries even more. Did you realize that, right? He literally said that in his doctrine. He wants to pay IA more money for what they do.
What
actual
money is
bonuses and
IA
stuff.
getting paid currently? Please inform me.
I'm saying more. That's the salary plus whatever you give them.
We used to do stimmies before JRB fucking fucked the economy.
Alright, so essentially Justice wants an IA stimulus package, and Nate is saying he runs IA. So, really, who wins here? Me. I win. So let's go on to White
No, you don't.
Monarch's question. Shut up. He says, or yeah, I'm assuming it's a he because I have a fucking female anime profile
They.
picture, and right, they. I
It.
would like to ask it. It asks. I would like to ask what would happen if Gensec rebailed. I actually don't know what that means. They rebailed.
Rebelled.
If Gen. Oh yeah. What do you do if Gensec rebelled? Sorry, they spelled it like that. Rebailed.
Sorry, who asked this question?
White Monarch 187.
Oh, Monarch.
So that was the original site deputy director of Justice, by the way. In case you guys didn't know, he already changed his site deputy director.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be
Should we
Monarch.
skip it? Are they biased?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, well then answer the question.
So what are you gonna do if security rebel? You're gonna gun them all down because they have worse guns than everybody else. That's what you're gonna do. Easy. Treat them like
Call
D
an
class.
E11.
Yes, call E11 for a code white. Okay. That's about it. It's pretty simple. Kill them just like the D class.
All right, Justice. Would you like to respond to your former site deputy director nominee?
Yes, I would. If security rebels, step 1 is to establish a secured location. Step 2 is to reach out and try and negotiate. Step 3 is to investigate what brought this situation on. That is all.
All right, actually, I would like to throw my own 2 cents in here. So, what is step 1? I think we all know.
Step 1 is to establish a secured area where negotiations might be possible. A
Step
friendly
1,
zone.
secure the keys.
This dude really playing COD.
Send from darkness.
This is step 1. All right, and what is step 2 then? If security rebels, what is step 2? You have the IA ascend from darkness, right? And step 3, you have TCU rain fire. And then step 4, you take the
This is
good
so
security. You
goofy.
take the good security and you unleash the horde. Step 5, you have Abel skewer the winged beast. And then step 6 is killing them all because
Bro, next question. Next
Oh, are you
question. Bro.
suggesting
5
All
minutes.
that
Come on,
the-
man. Next
Let's
question.
go. Let's go.
All right, next question. I actually have no more viewer questions. Well,
Bro, bring Kel up here.
I can, oh,
Wait.
I would rather ask one.
I don't know about
question.
that
Actually,
one.
hang on. I have a
I
question
don't
from
know
Reptile.
about
Wait,
that.
So
I'm
we
getting
got-
an
hold
influx
on.
of questions. An influx of questions. An
No,
anonymous
no.
question. An
No,
anonymous
no,
question
no,
from
no, no.
Reptile. An anonymous question from Cloud Dude, who I don't know what the fuck he's saying anyway.
These are not
Um,
anonymous, bro. What the?
Ainsley's asking. No, I asked your anonymous
Should
question,
we be
Josh.
questioning
That's
the
it.
integrity of this
Hey,
debate?
remove Autumn. Farlow, remove
Yeah.
Autumn. Let's start pulling viewers up here.
I'm doing
They've had questions this whole time.
All
Perfect.
right, he's
Fucking
gone,
hell.
bro. Just like
First,
that.
Alright.
we'll do Kel first.
Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be taking over this debate. We're gonna
Dictatorship,
be
by the
taking
way.
some questions. Good. Okay, Cal. What's going on? What's your question for these two fine candidates? He's back. Sorry.
Why is your fucking time bot going off? What are you doing?
Why am I here?
Oh, hi,
You had a
Cal.
question, you
I asked
fucking
you had a
idiot.
question.
Put your hand up.
Oh, he's
You
fucking gone.
He left. What a bitch.
What a
Okay,
fucking
Burger has a question.
burger next.
Lenny
Oh,
Burger.
actually, no. There's a second anonymous question.
Yes, I have a
from
question.
Actually Okay Guy. He's asking if either of you need anything for your custom classes. He's trying to get you guys to fund
Look,
gaming's stimulus package.
Autumn, I'm getting the retarded bias question again. What do I do?
Who cares about
Which one?
bias?
Okay, ask my question. I have a very important
Yeah,
question.
ask it. Is it about
Does
the
the site
burger?
the site needs to know your opinions on this, because I know this has been a very controversial policy. It's been around for a while, but it needs to be addressed. What are your plans with the MTF man?
All right.
Hey, get
No, thank you. No, get him out. I know he's asking. Get him out.
No, we
Get 'em
need
out.
to know this.
Get him out.
Population. How is
This is censorship. The
Get him
site,
out. Stop inviting him. Stop it.
the site needs.
Stop it. Bro, Spicy,
Nice, he's not
Tess,
telling you about
Tony
his
Stark, and
PCP
Sebastian.
doctrine, dude. All right.
We got 3 minutes, bro. Tess, Spicy Water, Tony Stark, and
Hurry.
Ainsley's
Sebastian.
got to
And
have a
Jive.
good question,
Jive's a
right?
no mic. You can just type it, Jive. Get out of here.
Hey, listen, I have a question, right? So, like, what are you guys' opinions on, like, relationships within the site? And Nate, when are you
Get him
gonna
out.
return my
Get him out.
messages?
Get him
When
out.
are you gonna return
Get him
my
out.
messages, Nate?
Get him out. House
Man,
close.
he's my
Whoa, you guys
Ainsley,
got
buddy.
something going on there? What's
Alright,
what's
bring-
oh my
going on there,
God.
man?
Bring Sebastian in.
Ugh.
Sebastian. Bring Spicy in.
Yo, Cheb, why are we bringing Cheb in, bro?
He said he wanted
No,
to come
he's
in.
gonna just yell the N word.
No, I'm not.
Alright, hold on.
Justice, can you wait, whoa, I need some silence. Justice, can you talk for a second?
Oh, what's up?
Yeah, I can hear it all right. Okay. I was just wondering, why are you fed?
Get him out.
What?
Okay,
I have an actual
Fucking
question. I have an actual.
Ask it.
Okay. So within like recent developments,
Alright, cool. Tess is next, then Bino,
Oh.
then Tony. Oh, never mind. She denied it instantly. Bino.
There's a woman in Deep Gaming. That's fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my
I
girlfriend.
thought they were
Real
all
gamer.
fake.
All
You have
right.
a girlfriend in Deep
Let-
Gaming?
let-
Alright,
lawyer
hold
up
up,
here.
hold up.
Let
Are
the
people
lawyer up
like
here.
actually going to be able to ask questions up
Wait,
here?
hold on, no, it's a
Yeah,
lawyer. It's a
Monty
lawyer.
asked a
Hold up.
question.
Hold up. All right.
You
So
have a minute.
I might have missed this at some point, but my question is for Mr. Justice. What? I don't know if you already answered this. But what's your opinion on the ethics committee?
We talked about this for like.
Yeah,
15
we've
minutes.
I
talked
missed
about
it
this.
entirely.
Okay, so basically, here's
Summarize
the
it in one
rundown.
line.
We both
maybe you
won.
should
His whole
Restock.
doctrine is a copy of mine, but less words.
Okay,
Yo,
That's
okay.
you guys
basically
just
it. That's
not
all you need to
understand
know.
this part?
I'm
We
gonna-
only
Oh,
have
bring drop up
45
here. Hold on.
seconds
Drop
left.
some
Hold up.
G. Hurry up. Get him up here. Hurry up.
I got a
Hurry,
question,
hurry,
I got a
hurry.
question. I got a question.
Hurry
I
up.
got a
Get drop.
Let me ask an actual meaningful question real quick.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So you guys, both of you guys have described the roles that your site deputy directors will play throughout your term. However, you have not described what they'll be doing on average on the daily basis around the site. Could you provide examples to us
20
on how these deputy directors will be interacting with our site members?
Oh,
Yes,
easy.
sir. Okay,
Gaming.
so promoting cadets is what we needed. All right. Promoting personnel
Yeah.
that are not getting the attention from their respective command, helping out the respective command with any choices they make on site. That would be whether it be for promotions, or policy changes or
That
anything
is
like that.
time. The debate is over.
It's over.
All right,
Fuck.
cool. Bring everyone up.
What's
Let's
your
go.
opinion on the
Yo.